Hello and welcome to the science class. My name is Teacher John. I'm going to teach you Science Primary 7, Term 2. The topic is called Interdependence of Things in the Environment. We said in our previous lesson that interdependence is the way things benefit from each other. So today we're going to look at agroforestry. Agroforestry is the growing of trees alongside crops. Agroforestry is the growing of trees alongside crops, or you can say agroforestry is the growing of trees and crops on the same piece of land. Growing of trees and crops together on the same piece of land, that's what we call agroforestry. So we can put the definition down and say agroforestry, the growing of trees, alongside other crops. Agroforestry is the growing of trees alongside other crops. You can also say agroforestry the growing of trees together with crops on the same piece of land, Agroforestry is the growing of trees alongside other crops. You can also say agroforestry is the growing of trees together with crops on the same piece of land. So next we look at the importance of growing crops and trees together. In other words, what are the advantages of agroforestry? Advantages of agroforestry. Advantages of agroforestry. Advantages of agroforestry. Now, one of the advantages of agroforestry is that trees provide shade to other crops. 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 Number two, trees control soil erosion. Trees control soil erosion. Trees control soil erosion. So when you grow trees and crops on the same piece of land, trees help to control soil erosion. Then trees act as windbreaks. Trees act as windbreaks. Trees act as windbreaks. All trees protect crops against strong wind. Trees protect crops against strong wind. That's what we mean by windbreaks. Trees protect crops against strong winds. Trees protect crops against strong wind. That's what we mean by trees act as windbreaks. Then you can also say we have what you call leguminous crops. They help to improve soil fertility, or they improve soil fertility. Some trees are legumes which improve soil fertility. Number 4, some trees are legumes. Some trees are legumes which help to improve soil fertility. Some trees are legumes which help to improve soil fertility. Some trees are legumes which help to improve soil fertility. Then trees help in rain formation. 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 Then the farmer gets double income. The farmer gets double income. The farmer gets double income. Farmer gets double income. Gets income from trees and also gets income from crops. That's what we mean by a farmer getting double income. Gets income from trees and crops. You can say he gets income from trees and crops. Gets income from trees and crops. That's the double income we are talking about. Then trees help to reduce or to control global warming. Trees reduce global warming or control global warming. Trees help to control global warming. Global warming. What is global warming? Global warming is the periodic rise of temperature on Earth. Periodic rise of temperature on Earth. And these temperatures rise because the Earth has what you call the ozone layer. This ozone layer is a blanket-like structure in the atmosphere. They are like clouds. They are not clouds, but it's like a blanket-like structure which is like clouds. And this ozone layer gets depleted or destroyed by gases in the atmosphere. And these gases are carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide. They destroy the ozone layer, and the Earth is able to receive direct rays from the sun. So those direct rays from the sun are the one which make the Earth to become warm, the one we call global warming. So global warming is the periodic rise of temperature on Earth. And global warming is caused by gases in the atmosphere like carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and fumes from factories. So those fumes they make holes in the ozone layer. Then the Earth is able to receive direct rays from the sun, which is very dangerous. So, and when there's global warming, we have diseases which affect the Earth because when the temperatures rise, it gives rise to multiplication of bacteria and other germs. So germs will multiply because there are favorable conditions that favor multiplication of germs, and that is warmth. So that means that when germs multiply, people get diseases, and that's why we have disease outbreak on Earth because of global warming. So we shall ask this question here. What is global warming? What is global warming? What is global warming? Then we shall say global warming is the periodic or is the general rise of temperatures, the general rise of temperature on Earth. The general rise of temperature on Earth is called global warming. So global warming is the general rise of temperature on Earth. Then we need to know what causes global warming. What causes global warming? What causes global warming? Global warming can be caused by, one, we have carbon dioxide. Number two, carbon monoxide. These are carbon monoxide is a poisonous gas. So these gases destroy the ozone layer. It depletes the ozone layer, makes holes in the ozone layer, and the Earth is able to receive direct rays from the sun, which makes temperatures on Earth to rise, and in the end we shall have what we call global warming. So we looked at causes of global warming. You generally can say the cutting down of trees. You can also add deforestation. Deforestation can cause global warming. You can also say bush burning. Bush burning can cause global warming. So, when you burn the bush, there are those gases, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, and smoke goes to the atmosphere, they destroy the ozone layer. Then when the ozone layer is destroyed, the Earth will receive direct rays from the sun, which makes temperature on Earth to rise. So that's what we call global warming. So we said global warming is the general rise of temperature on Earth. Causes of global warming, we have carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, deforestation, bush burning. All these are causes of global warming. How can we control global warming? It's another question. How can global warming be controlled? How can global warming be controlled? How can global warming be controlled? Global warming can be controlled by planting trees. Now when you plant trees, it helps to control global warming. Another question would be, how does planting trees control global warming? How does planting trees. How does planting trees control global warming? Control global warming. How does planting trees control global warming? Trees absorb carbon dioxide. Trees absorb carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. So when trees use carbon dioxide to make food, global warming is controlled, because we said carbon dioxide is one of the gases that destroy the ozone layer to make the earth temperature to rise. So when you plant trees, trees purify air by absorbing carbon dioxide. So you can say trees absorb carbon dioxide. Trees absorb carbon dioxide. Trees absorb carbon dioxide, which destroy the ozone layer. Which destroy the ozone layer. The ozone layer, I told you the ozone layer is a blanket-like structure that protects the earth from receiving direct rays from the sun. So when that ozone layer is destroyed, the earth receives direct rays from the sun, which leads to global warming. Maybe we look at another question. How do trees purify air? How do trees purify air? Trees purify air by absorbing carbon dioxide. Now, if they ask you the effects of global warming leads to disease outbreak. That's why we have diseases on Earth. There are diseases which affect people, and people don't know where some of these diseases are coming from. It is as a result of global warming. So because of that, we are supposed to plant trees and protect the environment. That one can help us to control global warming. So if you cannot control global warming, then the earth is not going to be a better place to live. So we must control global warming by planting trees, and these trees will absorb carbon dioxide and other gases. So trees need carbon dioxide to make food, and this carbon dioxide, after being absorbed, plants use carbon dioxide to make food. So as they are absorbing carbon dioxide, they are controlling global warming. At the same time, they are using that carbon dioxide to make their own food. So it's very good to plant trees and conserve the environment so that the world is a better place to live. Okay, I think next we look at the importance of growing trees and keeping animals on the same piece of land. Importance of growing trees and keeping animals on the same piece of land. We've looked at importance of agroforestry, growing trees and crops together on the same piece of land. We've looked at the advantages. We say the farmer gets double income. Gets the income from trees, also gets income from crops. Now, what are the advantages of growing trees and keeping animals on the same piece of land? Advantages of growing trees advantages of growing trees and keeping animals on the same piece of land. 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 Advantages of growing trees and keeping animals on the same piece of land. Now, one of the advantages is trees provide shade to animals. Trees provide shade to animals. Trees provide shade or shelter to animals. That's number one. So when you plant trees and you rear animals on the same piece of land, trees will provide shade to animals. Then trees will provide oxygen to animals. Trees will provide oxygen to animals. Trees provide oxygen. Trees provide oxygen to animals. So animals need oxygen to carry out respiration. Where do they get oxygen? They get oxygen from trees. Then trees purify the environment by absorbing carbon dioxide. Then the farmer gets double income. The farmer gets double income. The farmer gets double income. It's getting double income gets income from trees, then also gets income from animals. Gets income from animals, then also gets income from trees. Then we also look at, we said trees provide shade to animals, then animals provide cow dung or provide manure to trees. Animals provide manure. Animals provide manure to trees. Then animals also provide carbon dioxide to trees. Animals provide carbon dioxide. Animals provide carbon dioxide to trees. So that's how trees benefit. Okay, that's how trees and the animals benefit when they are on the same piece of land. Trees provide shade, trees provide oxygen to animals, the farmer gets double income, then animals provide manure to trees, animals provide carbon dioxide to trees to make their own food. Then we look at the advantages of growing crops and keeping animals on the same piece of land. Advantages of growing crops. Advantages of growing crops and keeping or rearing animals on the same piece of land. Advantages of growing crops and keeping animals on the same piece of land on the same piece of land. What are the advantages when you grow animals, when you rear animals and grow crops? One, the farmer gets double income. That's the first advantage. The farmer gets double income. This double income is coming from animals and trees and crops. Farmer gets double income. The first income is getting from crops. The next income he gets from animals. Then number two, animals get food from crops. Animals get food from crops. Animals get oxygen. Animals get oxygen from crops. Animals get oxygen from crops. Then animals get oxygen from crops. Animals get oxygen from crops. Then animals also get carbon dioxide. No. Animals get oxygen from crops. Maybe shade. Animals get shade. Animals get shade from crops. Then crops get manure. Crops get manure. Crops get manure from animals. And number 6, apart from manure, crops also get carbon dioxide. Crops get carbon dioxide. Crops get carbon dioxide from animals. So that's how animals and crops benefit from each other. Those are the advantages. Then we look at rearing animals, growing crops and trees on the same piece of land. Look at advantages. Advantages of growing crops. Growing crops, keeping animals and growing trees and growing trees on the same piece of land. Advantages of growing crops, keeping animals, and growing trees on the same piece of land. Here, the farmer gets double income. The farmer gets double income. farmer gets their income. Then trees provide oxygen to animals. Trees provide oxygen to animals. Trees and crops. Trees and crops provide oxygen. Trees and crops provide oxygen to animals. That's number 2. Then, trees and crops. Trees and crops provide shade. Provide shade to animals. Provide shade to animals. Here we said trees and crops provide oxygen to animals. Then number 4, provide animals provide manure. Animals provide manure to trees and crops. Animals provide manure to trees and crops. So, those are some of the advantages. Talked about shade, oxygen, double income, manure, then maybe carbon dioxide. Then say number 5, animals. Animals provide carbon dioxide. Animals provide carbon dioxide to trees and crops. So these are some of the advantages that farmers, or the advantages of growing trees and crops on the growing trees and crops, then rearing animals on the same piece of land. We said trees envy. Trees help to purify. Trees help to purify the environment. Trees help to purify the environment. Let me ask a question. How do trees purify? How do trees purify the environment? How do trees purify the environment? Trees purify the environment. Trees purify the environment by absorbing carbon dioxide. By absorbing carbon dioxide. So that's how trees purify the environment. So that one marks the end of our lesson. In our next lesson, we shall focus on growing trees. How do we grow trees, and how do we care for the trees? Otherwise, thank you for being attentive in my lesson. May the Almighty God bless you abundantly.